I want to thank God, and thank everybody for having me here today. I'm originally from Pompano. This is my hometown, born and raised, so it's good to be home. And I want to thank my pastor, who's been walking with me and strengthening me, Pastor E.W. Alvin from Freedom Christian Tabernacle. And I want to thank God for using her. She's a wonderful woman, somebody that mentors me, speaks into my life, keep me on the right track, and just motivate me to continue to stay focused, and move forward in the spirit of Christ. And I want to thank God for bringing her into my life. She came into my life last year. I'm going to give y'all a brief, testimony. Some years ago, I was shot down, right here in this city of Pompano, and I was hitting my pelvis, and the bullet, it went in my right pelvis and it traveled through, and the doctors, they say they don't know how the bullet didn't crash right through the center of my pelvis. They say God had to be guiding it, guiding it around my pelvis, but it still grazed it, and fractured it, and it came out my left pelvis. And I think God did just enough, to try to get my attention, and wake me up and bring me out of the life of sin. And I was left for dead on the side of the road, and I woke up the next day in the hospital just out of surgery, and the doctors, to some bad information, the doctors telling me, that I'd never walk again. And there wasn't nothing else that they can do for me. Now, the thing about that was they was right about one thing. I want to outline that. They was right about one thing and one thing only, and that was when they said that it wasn't nothing else that they can do. Amen. That's the only thing that they was right about, when they said it wasn't nothing else that they can do, nothing else that man can do. But it was a lot more that God can do. That's where they were wrong when they said it wasn't nothing else that could be done. Because it was a lot more that could be done. I just had to give it to God and believe and put my faith in it. And by the grace of God, I'm able to stand here in front of you guys right now today, and I'm so thankful, But I did something that I regret. After He blessed me with that, instead of me receiving and listening to the voice of God, I went back out there into the world. And I used to experience a lot of depression from my physical ability, from, being disadvantaged, from everybody else, not being able to play ball and run and jump and do all the things I used to do. I got 5 kids, and there's a lot of things that I can't do with them that I used to like to do, that, I would love to do, But through that depression, and worried about all of these things, that God really, is trying to, speak to me and get me to acknowledge, don't worry about that there, because I done gave you something great. I done gave you the ability to walk again, something that you thought you'd never do, and through that depression, I resorted to a lot of drug uses and alcohol and things like that of that nature, and it got so bad one night that it got out of hand, and I attempted suicide. I put a gun to my head and pulled the trigger. Now, by the grace of God, I don't know how that bullet did not go into my head and wind up into my opposite hand. And the bullet, it went in the inside of my pinky finger, and it came out through my knuckle, and there again, the doctors told me that I'd never be able to use that finger again. But it's moving. I get it moving. They were wrong again. You get what I'm saying? Because I serve a mighty God that can do anything, long as you just put Him first in your life and give it to Him. He said, bring all things to Him. All things. And sometimes we forget, I have some people that tend to say some things are too small, No, God say bring it all to Him. Sometimes people even think things are too far gone, too big, You might well slap God in the face, if you don't have faith in Him, because it ain't nothing that my God